Hi guys, this is Casey from Spectora. You're currently watching the new user setup series. We've done some updates to the scheduling area, so I'm re-recording this video if it looks a little bit different and I'm not wearing the same shirt. This video is particularly about how to choose one of our two schedulers, both which you can embed into your personal websites, or if we're building your website for you, we can embed them into there. And then also how to set up your availability in Spectora. So if we use the drop-down menu of your name or go to the settings button, we're gonna head over to settings. And we have two integrated scheduling options in Spectora. If I scroll down here, you can see that one is the online scheduler and the other is the inspection request form. The inspection request form is simpler, and so I'm gonna cover it first. The inspection request form is basically just a contact form that they fill out to give you their data. It would be then on you as an inspector or as a company to reach out to them to confirm services, do upsells, things like that. So it's more of a contact form. The online scheduler is a tool that has them choose specific services. They're affected by your pricing modifiers. They can choose actual times and dates for inspections based off of your availability that you have set up. And they ultimately get a quote from it. I would say the vast majority of inspectors using Spectora use the online scheduler instead of the inspection request form. I see the inspection request form most commonly used for people who do inspections while they're doing another job like firefighting. So they want the ability to completely control their schedule and contact them and say, well, can you do next Saturday? Those kinds of things. So if you're looking for a tool for agents and clients to be able to use independently, use the online scheduler instead. If you want to be in control, use the inspection request form. The inspection request form up here, if we open it up, you would click to enable it, and then you would set just basic information about your most common inspection, what the name of the fee would be, your base price, a default start time, and then how long it generally takes you. Like I said earlier, these are just set and base. Using the inspection request form doesn't actually connect to your services and fees area to get that good pricing modifiers. So this is just base, think basic. You can, however, select a default agreement to populate whether or not it's you're a radon specialist. Usually I see home inspection agreement for that area. Note to clients will display at the top of the inspection request form, and then when they click submit to you, you can add this request received text for thank you. You'll hear back from us shortly. Got a little tongue-tied there. You can scroll down here, and for either of our two schedulers, you can elect to receive an email or a text message when you receive a new inspection request through either of the scheduling forms, and you would just enable that and then enter your address here or your phone number there. If you are looking to embed your inspection request form into your own personal website, this is where you would grab your embeddable widget in that code. To see what the inspection request form would look like, you would actually click this blue hyperlink right here, and if we open it up, the top portion will be pulled from your company public profile. So there is a new user tutorial series on how to set up your profiles, and this is where you would want to do it. And then scroll down, they would just enter their most basic information, their name, their email, their phone, if they're going to do a second client, address, square footage, year built. And then it's just a type box of home inspection, radon, something like that. And so like I said, these are not connected to your services and fees areas. That's just a text box. So you would need to take these and translate them into a service. They can select what's your ideal time, but it's just a request. It doesn't actually connect to your availability. And then if they have a real estate agent or a listing agent, and then anything else that they'd like you to know, lockbox code, someone who referred them, something like that. And then you would hit submit. I'm going to go back into settings now and show you the online scheduler, and then we'll create an inspection request form to be able to show you guys how to confirm an unscheduled request, or an unconfirmed request, excuse me. Okay, so I went back to settings now, and if I click to close my inspection request form card, I will click to open the online scheduler. And you would click to enable the online scheduler. This don't allow scheduling within, excuse me, I'm gonna cough. Don't allow scheduling within is the buffer period of time that you need a heads up for someone to schedule you. I most commonly see a 24-hour buffer, meaning that they would not be able to schedule you today for an inspection today, but they could schedule you for an inspection tomorrow. I would say the majority of inspectors use 24 hours. I do see multi-inspector companies who have the option to do last minute bookings, or even just new guys who never want to say no, will put down 4 hours. Even if they're feeling crazy 1 hour, which only having a 1 hour heads up for an inspection is a little crazy to me, but whatever works for your company. If you are a multi-inspector company, you can allow for choice of inspectors. If that is off, then your client or agent will only see time slots to choose from. If you do have it turned on, then they'll see names with their inspector profile picture on there so they can choose exactly who they would like to do the inspection. Show client pricing details is for the quote on page 4 of the online scheduler. And it's whether or not you would like your client or your agent to be able to see the pricing breakdown within line items. I'll show you what this looks like in a second, but generally it's whether or not you just like them to see home inspection $500, or if you would like them to be able to see home inspection base $300, and then you had $200 in square footage and age of home modifying how you got to that eventual total price. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Require confirmation, which I'm gonna turn on here. You can use the online scheduler and then have it still turn into an inspection request that you then have to go and confirm. The online scheduler is just much more dynamic with them actually being able to look at your availability and choose within your schedule. This confirmation text is the text which displays when you are scheduling and confirming an inspection. Like when they hit the save button on the online scheduler, they hit save, and then this text will appear on the page. Sorry, I didn't say it very well the first time around. If you are tracking Google Analytics or SEO, you would input your links in your analytics numbers into this area. And then, like I said before, you can choose to receive an email when somebody completes a booking. But for the online scheduler, we also have a tool called receive an email or a text message when a booking is in process and the client has entered information. What that translates to is if someone starts filling out your online scheduler and then navigates away from the page without actually booking the confirmation, we will take the information that they have entered and send you an email with it. It gives you an opportunity to not miss out on business because they either couldn't see a time or they thought it was overpriced, something like that. So you're still getting the information that they entered in there so that then you can call them up and say, hey, I saw that you started scheduling a home inspection on my website, but you didn't confirm. You know, why not? How can I earn your business? That kind of thing. So I do highly recommend having both of these turned on to receive emails and text messages for both bookings and incompleted bookings. And then just like with the inspection request form, we give you the embeddable widget. You can use it in your free trial or when you're a paying inspector, that code doesn't change. And so you would insert that into your website. If you do not have a website, I would highly recommend getting one. We sell them. I think they're great. And our web design team is just amazing. Cool. So if you would like to see what your online scheduler looks like, or if you say don't have enough money to buy a website yet, you're just getting started, I have a lot of inspectors who started off using the online scheduler as a semi-replacement for a website until they really got their business going. Because if we click on it, it still will pull all of your information from your public profile. And we replace, it goes spectora.com, but then this is the name of your company up here and scheduling. And so the name of your company is up there. You can email that out to clients and agents, and they can immediately go in and schedule you, making you look really professional. Okay, so if we scroll down, there are 4 pages to the online scheduler. This first page is qualifying the lead. So this is making sure that it's not somebody who's spamming you, who's entering this, or like a competitor or something like that. You would select, or your client or agent would select a service from your services and fees area. So say, let's book residential inspection, and then click off. And then these are the add-ons that I have set up in the services and fees area. There's a new user tutorial on those if you would like to go over and watch that. So if I wanted to select Sewer Scope and Radon, great. And then I can scroll down. I'm going to enter my address. 66 South Logan is our office address here in Denver. If there is a matching street address for Google Maps, it will auto-populate for you using that drop-down menu. Otherwise, you can use this can't find your address, and it opens up more of an address form where they can manually enter information. And then if there is also a matching Zillow listing for it, it will pull in the square footage and the year the property was built, which are particularly handy because those are not usually things that clients know off the top of their head. But you can also select if the property is occupied or if the utilities are on. Then once page 1 is all filled out, you click next. Next, we're going to try to get the clients and the agent's information. Who is submitting this request? And so I would put down Casey. You must enter an email to advance to the next page. So you're not going to have someone who leaves their name and then not give you any way to contact them. If you have an agent who is already in your system and who has used you, they can enter their name here and it will auto-populate their information. Otherwise, they can use the Add New Agent button to enter their new information. Once you have a first name of some sort and an email, you can advance to the next page. Page 3 is the really awesome part of the online scheduler. If any of you guys have listened to my webinars before, I'm sure you're tired of hearing. My opinion is that the millennials particularly, but we live in a very instant gratification society where if something is not put onto our calendars and booked, we're going to forget about it for a couple days. And so the online scheduler is a great way to book a time and a date where they know that they're available, get it on their calendars and get it all set up so that you're guaranteed business, you're not getting ghosted. So I highly recommend the online scheduler. So the background, and I'll show you guys how to set up your availability here immediately after showing you the online scheduler. Your availability is piped into the background of this calendar. And if I click on a date, it's going to show me all available time slots for that date. So I can click through and say, oh, 8 a.m. there. I don't think I have very many times set up in my background of my test account. But so say for the 27th, I select 8 a.m. Great. So I selected my own time and date, and now I get to page 4, which is our quote page. It's got the address of the inspection, the inspector name, the time, the date, the duration, and then the listing of services. And if you see these lighter gray, this is what I was talking about with the description of services and if you want it or not. If you have that turned off, all you would see on this page is residential inspection, $500. If you have it turned on, they'll be able to see, all right, we have a $300 base price and then we added $200 because your house is more than 75 years old. The sewer scope description, everything like that. For our Canadian inspectors, we have built out this tax area where it will take the applicable tax from each of your services and put it into a nice line item. In Canada, services are taxable like goods are. In the United States, services are not taxable. So that's why it specifically says tax, because it's for our Canadians. I do see some home inspectors using this tax area for the credit card processing fee. I was recently warned that that is actually illegal in several states, because you would be charging them that transaction fee, but then you could refund them and keep the money. And apparently the transparency of the process and whether or not you could be, accidentally scamming your clients out of a few bucks, it's illegal in some states. So before you go ahead and put the credit card processing fee back on your client, please, please, please check your local regulations. Great. So then you would see total. If you have given them out a discount code, perhaps for a fall promotion or something like that, they can click it there and enter it. And then we have this similar to the inspection request form. Anything else you'd like us to know? Usually I see that for lockbox, or I was referred by, something like that. So then hit the green submit button, and that confirmation text is going to pull up here. You can customize it to say whatever you would like. That ends the client or agent portion of it. As far as it would go on Spectora, so I'm going to go back to my Spectora dashboard. So now we're back to being an inspector from being a client or an agent. What my inspection request that I just did created was this unconfirmed inspection request form. And so I could open this up, see what the client or the agent had entered, adjust inspector client information, anything that was wrong about invoicing or that you noticed. You can select whether or not you would like to require payments to release the report or not. Say if you have a pay at closing, you would turn that off. Adjust order IDs, add any internal notes that you would like. You can even disable notifications that are going to send your automatic emails. If you'd like to turn those off for this inspection, you can always turn them back on later. But so this is where you would look at that inspection request. Finally, I know I'm going a little bit fast, but these are meant to be overviews. I'll talk about how to set up your availability. So to set up your availability, you would use the drop-down menu of your name or the button to go to settings. And if we go to settings, one of the major buttons that is at the top of the page is availability right here. And if we open it up, we have options for two different types of availability in Spectora. Either open scheduling, you can schedule me anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., or time slots. I would like an inspection to start at 9 a.m. and then one to start at 1 p.m. and those are the only two times that can be booked for the day. You can toggle between the two by clicking the open scheduler, the time slots, and clicking to swipe it to the other side. Each inspector can have a different schedule, and you would set up a base template for what a week looks like for you. So if we click into my schedule, we're currently up in open scheduling. I would scroll down here, and we call them time blocks. You can click, say for Tuesday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I would also like to add a block that is from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. And select those. And now I've got two different time blocks that I can be scheduled for. If you have time slots turned on, it's very similar. You would just click the plus time slot and you would say, I would like to have a time slot for 1 p.m. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, if you're on open scheduling, so that 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I always like to mention that this 5 p.m. or whenever the end of the time block is when you're ending the day. And what I mean by that is if you have an inspection that is scheduled to take 3 hours, the last time someone could book you on Sunday would be 2 p.m. because 2 p.m. you could then do a 3-hour inspection and be done at 5. So 5 o'clock is not the last time they can book you. It's the end of your final inspection for the day. I hope that helps. Oh, one more thing. We also have two-way integrations with Google Calendar. If you would like to set up your Google Calendar integration, that will automatically block off time for your availability so that you don't have to always be messing with this 1 week template. You can say, I'm off Tuesday through Wednesday of next week, and you can have that be blocked off automatically. Or, of course, if we go to the dashboard up here, I can scroll down. Give it 1 second to load. And I can always schedule time off directly on this calendar by clicking into the calendar, creating an event that I'm going to call time off, and then selecting which of my inspectors, if you have more than one, it's going to apply to, and the time and the date, and then I would click add. And now the online scheduler will look at this, and I cannot be booked on the 30th between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So just handy little tools to try to automate your scheduling and ability processing. Okay, I promise, it's over now. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to jump on our tech support chat bubble. We cover the business hours of all US time zones, and we have weekend hours available as well. So jump on there, ask us questions, and make sure you're watching the rest of the New Year's tutorial video. Thanks, guys.